What is up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you to the first episode of What If Goku Trained with the Grand Priest. If you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It is free, and you can always unsubscribe later. There's a link in the description of the video to my Discord server, where you can talk to me and my community, and with all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. This series begins at the end of the Tournament of Power, after witnessing Goku utilising Ultra Instinct within the tournament, and even rapidly evolving his use of it in his various battles. The Grand Priest would become interested in the Universe 7 warrior. Goku was already intriguing to him before the tournament, but now, utilising the power of the Angels, which even destroys with millions of years of training could not achieve, the Grand Priest's intrigue has reached a peak. Once the Universe 7 team returns home to celebrate, the Grand Priest would fly over to the Omni Kings, requesting to train their friend Goku. The two Zenos cheerfully agreeing, as long as Goku will play with them too. The Grand Priest would agree, and shortly after, make his way to Universe 7. Goku and Chi-Chi just finishing their dinner, when they hear a knock on their door. Goku would go to answer it, and when he does, he would be shocked as he sees the Grand Priest there, asking if he can come in. Goku would quickly allow him to do so, and the Grand Priest would then make his offer to Goku. He would like to train Goku in order to completely perfect his Ultra Instinct. The Omni Kings would also be most pleased if he agrees. Chi-Chi would be getting ready to shout, not wanting Goku to immediately go off training again, but Goku would stop her, whispering to her that this guy is one of the strongest guys in the multiverse, even stronger than Whis. Chi-Chi would then stop herself, and Goku would look to Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi giving a sigh of acceptance. She never could stop Goku from training. Goku and Chi-Chi would hug, and Goku would ask the Grand Priest if he can have a day to say his goodbyes to his friends, and the Grand Priest would agree, leaving back to Zeno's palace, and Chi-Chi and Goku would enjoy the rest of their night together. Goku would say his goodbyes to his friends, and then the Grand Priest would come to collect him, bringing him back to the palace of the Omni Kings. Two Zenos would greet Goku, saying they can't wait to play with him, and Goku would tell them there's gonna be a bunch of fun, but you have to do some training first. The two Zenos would look sad, but they would agree, before getting distracted and flying off. Then, the Grand Priest would snap his fingers, and Goku's outfit would change to one similar to that of the Grand Priest. The Grand Priest would then tell Goku that his training starts now, and as his training begins, we are going to head back to Earth and skip ahead to the events of the Broly movie. Within this time, Gohan would keep up with his training, knowing that with his dad not being around, he's going to have to step up, especially since Vegeta isn't always on Earth either. So when the Broly movie commences, it is Gohan training with Vegeta when Frieza comes to Earth in search of the Dragon Balls. When Gohan and Vegeta go to the Arctic in order to stop him, Frieza would send Broly at them, and like normal, Vegeta would be the first one to take him on, easily handling Broly at first, but Broly would close their gap in power, forcing Vegeta to transform, then easily handling Broly again, but Broly will keep on growing and close the gap again. Vegeta would transform into Super Saiyan God, but as Broly would manage to close the gap again, tapping into his Ikari power, Gohan would jump in, already in Ultimate, and he would take over the fight, telling Vegeta to save his energy. He may need it. Gohan and Broly would then begin to battle. Gohan seeing a lot of himself in Broly, and he can tell Broly isn't a bad guy, but he has no way to paralyze Broly to talk to him, so we'll have to do that after he has already taken him down. Gohan and Broly would be pushing each other, both of them growing stronger throughout their fight, but eventually, Frieza would kill Paragus, and with Broly transforming into Super Saiyan, he would become too strong for Gohan to handle, so himself and Vegeta would use Frieza as a way to distract Broly, before flying to Piccolo, who was already talking to them telepathically, and Piccolo would teach Gohan and Vegeta to do the fusion dance. Vegeta would be reluctant at first, however he would have no choice, and after 2 failed attempts, they would get it right on the 3rd time, and Gogeta would be born. Yes, he would still have the same name, since he took the first 2 letters from Goku, which are the same first 2 letters in Gohan. His hair would even look the same as well, but even though the fusion still has the same name and appearance, his power and mindset is completely different. Gogeta would fly to the battlefield, taking Broly on in base form, and then in Super Saiyan. but instead of turning Super Saiyan Blue next, he would activate Ultimate. However, his aura and eyes would both glow blue. This Gogeta would actually be much stronger than the one we saw in canon, bullying Broly to an even greater extent than in canon, and Frieza, seeing this, would flee from the planet before Broly gets teleported back to Vampa, which is very fortunate for Frieza, because this version of Gogeta would not have let him get away. Both Gohan and Vegeta would have agreed to end Frieza on the spot. Shortly after, Gohan would have the Supreme Kai teleport himself to Vampa, giving the group on Vampa the same supplies Goku did, and creating a friendship with Broly in the same way as his father. Gohan hoping he can teach Broly to control that anger, which is a reflection of his past self. The Moro arc would come next, Vegeta training under Beerus a lot earlier than in canon, due to not wanting to fall behind Goku. He's training under the Grand Priest himself, and yet again, Gohan would take the place of Goku on the journey to Namek, but with Moro's magic, neither Gohan or Vegeta would be able to show their full capabilities, and events would go about the same. Vegeta still going to Yadra after the fact, and Beerus would train Gohan, but that training would take place on Earth, and instead of training him to use Ultra Instinct, he would just be training him to unlock more of his inner power. Some of Moro's men would scout out Earth, and they would be easily defeated by the likes of Gohan, Piccolo, and the human Z fighters. But when Moro himself eventually arrives, things would become more difficult. Gohan would have grown massively in power, especially with his potential, but even still, Moro could still steal his energy, and this would only make Moro that much stronger. While Gohan would be taking on Moro by himself, the humans would contact Whis and beg him to call for Goku to come back. Whis, seeing the situation escalating and complying, so he would call the Grand Priest, but he is taking a while to answer, as him and Goku are currently in the middle of a training session. Piccolo would try to help Gohan against Moro. However, with a single swipe, Piccolo would be cut in half, and this catalyst would force Gohan to achieve his beast form. And just as he does this, Vegeta arrives with instant transmission, and would smile at seeing Gohan in this new form. It seems Gohan wasn't going to fall behind after all. Beerus would be standing behind Gohan and Vegeta, and Moro would know something was up with that fighter, so after he consumes 7-3, to burrow a part of his body underground, shooting out behind Beerus, and grabbing the back of his neck, as he wasn't using his angelic ability at the time to dodge. Moro would then activate Ultra Instinct, but he wouldn't stop there, stealing as much of Gohan's energy as possible before Beerus would negate his magic. Gohan and Vegeta would then rush at Moro in unison, attempting to take him down, but with a good sum of Beast Gohan's energy and Ultra Instinct at the same time, he is simply too fast and strong for them to handle, and as he would push the duo back, throwing a flurry of attacks which send them a short distance away, a giant beam of light would appear between Moro and the two Saiyans, and once that light disappears, Goku and the Grand Priest would be standing there, and their presence would shift the aura of the battlefield. The Grand Priest would tell Goku that this is a part of his training. He is forbidden to transform within this fight. Goku would smile, saying he won't need to anyway, as he locks eyes with Moro. Gohan and Vegeta's eyes would widen. He can't be serious. They wasn't even able to beat them with their new transformations. Goku may have gotten stronger, but his base won't be enough. Moro would then appear in front of Goku and attempt to throw a punch at his gut at the same time, but Goku would catch the punch with his eyes closed and would simultaneously throw a punch at Moro's face, which sends him flying back, being too fast for Moro to dodge. At this point, Goku is able to use Ultra Instinct greater in his base form than he could while transformed in the Tournament of Power, exactly like Whis wanted him to do in the Canon Granola arc, but far greater. Goku does also have access to Ultra Instinct Omen, along with perfected Ultra Instinct. However, for this fight, he isn't allowed to use them, not that he would need to anyway. Moro would blitz back towards Goku, which would either be blocked or dodged by Goku, and in the very same instant, Goku would be countering those attacks with attacks of his own. However, Goku's attacks would all land precisely where they would need to, first in Moro's vital spots, and then in the gems within Moro's hands and forehead, removing all the abilities he gained from 7-3's copied abilities. Goku's final blow would be a punch through Moro's chest, making him cough out blood as he falls to the ground, lifeless. And Goku would then appear in front of Piccolo, using magic to heal him. Thankfully, Piccolo was still barely alive. Gohan and Vegeta would be in awe, returning to their base forms, and Goku would walk over to them, telling them that they have done a great job in protecting the Earth while he has been gone. Gohan asks if he is back for good now, but Goku shakes his head. He is still yet to complete his training, but if they ever need his help again, they can always get Whis to call the Grand Priest. But he doesn't think they'll need his help, and he promises that he will come back the moment his training is complete. Goku would then return to Zeno's palace alongside the Grand Priest. The Grand Priest congratulating him, as he was able to defeat a foe who also wielded Ultra Instinct, without needing to transform. It is clear that his progression with Ultra Instinct within his base state has vastly improved. However, he does still have a long way to go. Goku nods, thanking the Grand Priest for his compliments, as they then get back to Goku's training. And with that, we will end off this part. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you enjoyed. There will be more parts to this series, covering the Granola arc, and the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, so stay tuned for those parts coming soon. And with that out of the way, I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye guys.
Hey everyone, it's me Goku. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to my friend Sacred Saiyan on YouTube. Thank you all for watching.